So it's been a long time since my last recording. I have taken a bit of a break from subterfuge because when it's played properly it can be a huge drain on your time, energy and general work-life balance. But I've been invited to another fish game and I've been reminded to make some more videos of some of the previous fish games that I missed. So here's a short, hopefully, video of the third fish game, and the fish games are semi-invitational games with a fairly steady group of players, and for this one we decided to go for anonymous domination, which originally I thought was a terrible idea, but actually turned out quite well. And anonymous causes you to go back to first principles, and domination forces you to actually engage the whole game. It's not possible to sort of place by just turtling and keeping your position. So in this game I found myself in a sort of narrow looking position, but there's a nice pack of factories to the south, and I thought, well, if you can get hold of those then that'll be a good base. So I had to guess what Navy was doing in terms of Wallace and Oaktown, but I had a smuggler coming up, so I figured if I just sent one sub to each, I could probably get there first, and then if Navy was going to attack them I could smuggle in reinforcements. Anyway, so Navy was actually kind enough to gift the subs to Wallace and Oaktown, and Orange did decide to take Hashimoto. So after sort of considering getting into a war with Orange, we decided to become allies instead, and that would basically mean attacking Beige and potentially Sky. Now Sky is at a fairly bad run of it, possibly due to being AFK and resigns fairly quickly, which is not that good for me because I'm not close to him, so all of my neighbours will be gaining stuff at my expense. So the sort of plan is to try and sneak some bases off Beige. So straight away I've started with the smuggler and a foreman, so that's nice from a production point of view, and I'm going to start to run into Driller Cap soon. So I arrange with Beige to assist him in inverted commas by giving him a gift to October while taking Tamir off his hands. So it kind of looks like I'm invading him, but outside of Orange's radar there's a gift to October, and meanwhile it looks like I'm taking Tamir by force, although there is an agreement between us. I was trying to keep an eye on Teal, who appeared to be acting fairly erratically. I couldn't understand what on earth was going on with the helmsman movement, for example, and sending subs in no apparent fashion over long distances. So I've sort of decided that he was the best target due to being erratic, and I worked out that if I did launch an attack on him, then he wouldn't be able to get his defences at Solo to where I was before I could smuggle in reinforcements. So here goes the attack. Again, he sent a sub of 18 on a ridiculously long voyage for no particular reason, and straight away, well, not straight away, which is fortunate, but as soon as the first reinforcements come to Katengo, here comes the counterattack in full force, at which point I hire a second smuggler, so that was quite fortuitous. Smuggle in reinforcements and go for the next round, and just before his ship arrives I upgrade the foreman to an engineer, thereby recovering enough troops to actually defeat his second sub, and I end up just losing to his third sub before I smuggle in a third round of reinforcements, and now I have all the bases belong to me, at least those two factories, and I've rolled on to a third, and now a fourth, and at this point Teal cracks it and gives up. And giving up is never a good idea because you can always hold on to your queen, you can hold on to your specialists, and it can be quite difficult to actually be brought down, and we'll get to that in probably the podcast of the next game. But I suppose fortunately, because the other player to my north had resigned, and beige at this point had also resigned after being stuffed by the full force of orange and pink. There wasn't really anybody competing with me to take over the remnants of Teal's empire, so I put together a helmsman, which is always handy with the engineer, and that's the cleanup force. It recovers half of its losses, and it moves quite quickly, so that moves around and picks up all these factories, because I know that fairly quickly I'm going to be going to 2 tycoons, and I've got a navigator which is going to go to an admiral, and by the time I get to the defeated base, I have a hypnotist tire coming up, which is not going to be used for a king, it's going to be used for hypnotising specialists. So straight away I pick up a security chief, which is handy, and there's a second navigator. So I've got the potential for double admiral, double tycoon, and that is basically going to be the strategic victory of the game right there. So meanwhile down here, purple and navy have been engaged in an excellent little war. This situation around here has been sort of quite peaceful because I've been churning out so many troops from these 3 factories and then shipping them away constantly. Navy's been happy with that arrangement, and so has orange. But at some point I'm just going to have to turn on navy in one fell swoop. But before that, because navy is a bit stronger, he also has tycoons and foremen and the like. I'm going to turn on purple in a fell swoop. So again, simultaneous attack with one admiral this time, wins on almost, well, wins out of two out of the 3 fronts. This is sort of characterised by, because I have the engineer, I'm not really interested in losing battles. I just want to win them by overwhelming force and then recovering some casualties. So and having the admiral means I can reinforce things in time. So tidy up purple, get him down to about 1 base fairly quickly. Pink up here has been trying very hard to sort of hold off orange, except that my alliance with orange is much better than my alliance with pink, which means I just have to sort of give lip service to pink, including like pretending to send him a gift of a helmsman and then actually forgetting that it was going to be a gift, and then just being captured by him. I didn't really need it at that stage because of the whole double admiral thing. I convince navy that I will be able to gift him a pirate if I take Sivan, which he doesn't really need, because there's a pirate that he's taken off purple. So indeed I do hypnotise it, and I give it to him, because it's good to stay in good terms with people, until in a fairly tactical error of navy's, he sends his queen on an undefended boat, and my sub of 136 at twice the speed can get to Shasta before it, so that's pretty much curtains for navy, which is a shame because he was doing fairly well. And now you can see that it's just a matter of tidying up, because my economy is now kind of enormous. So that's the ideal 2 times smuggler, 1 times hypnotist, 1 times engineer, initial strategic hire. No need for any particular specialist shenanigans or even too much diplomacy, and this game was won in about a week.